Nevada is a wonderful place to live, work, and play. From the sandy shores of Lake Tahoe to the Black Rock Desert and through the Truckee Meadows, we tour homes, discover hotspots, explore the outdoors, stop by the shops, and take road trips that make Northern Nevada amazing. Welcome home. Thank you so much for joining our premiere of Live, Work, Play, and Be. I'm Dana Hijakis, and I'll be your host as we take a look at how local businesses, the real estate market, and the job market are faring through this COVID-19 crisis. Without a doubt, our local businesses have been hit hard by this crisis. But out of crisis comes innovation and creativity. So let's hop on over to Midtown and talk to Christian and Casey Christensen over at Soup Restaurant. You guys have been super busy. Tell me what you've been up to.
Hi, how are you today?
Good.
We've been busy since we closed on March 16th, but we decided to take that opportunity to start painting and fixing up the place and some of that wonderful deep cleaning that we get to do. Well, it's funny stuff when you can paint a lot easier without all the people coming in. So it's been great to take on these bigger projects.
I love that. And not only have you been painting and renovating your space, you've also been helping out the people who work for you. Talk about that.
Yeah, that was a big thing for us. We have a staff of 25, and Soup has been in business for 13 years this year. And a lot of our employees, some of them had even been with us for 12 and 13 years themselves. So they're family for us. And a lot of them have been waiting on unemployment to come through, and when they're struggling, we struggle. So we try to figure out a way we can help them as best as possible. And that was through getting groceries for them and doing that on a weekly basis. So without any money coming in, though, we've been trying to think creatively about how to make that happen. So we've been selling gift cards, and then we also paired up with Stitches Clothing. And they are doing an amazing campaign, T-shirts for Reno. And they started with 20 small businesses and are sponsoring shirts, and $10 from every shirt and tank top sales come back to Soup. And so we've been able to use that money to keep providing those weekly groceries for our employees.
That is totally amazing. I love that so much. Thank you for doing that. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure you hop on to Soup's website, order a t-shirt, and help out our local community. Thanks so much for being here. So talking about our community and businesses and employees, up next we have Steve Conine of Talent Framework, who specializes in employment and staffing. Now there's been a lot going on in this arena. Steve, what can you tell us about employment rates and also job opportunities?
Well, certainly statewide, there's a lot of attention being paid to the rising unemployment. I think we're just over about 350,000 people have entered the unemployment system in the state of Nevada now as of a couple of days ago. For Reno Sparks, our unemployment rate is just below about 17%. So certainly a record number of folks that are out of work. Obviously, because we're so hospitality-based and service-based and tourism-based, a lot of those folks are getting hit hardest of all. But there are still some opportunities floating around out there. There are a number of manufacturers that are still considered essential businesses that have postings up and running and are still hiring some people on. The supply chain logistics market is still going and operating as well. So I've seen a little bit of uptick in my business in those particular sectors. Healthcare, ironically, given this, is actually down with all the non-essential things being kind of eliminated from that market. That's put a lot of those folks on the sidelines as well. So overall, it's kind of been a mixed bag, but for the most part, there's a lot of folks out there still looking for work. So there's a lot of competition for the jobs that are available. So for those that are in that market or are looking, I suggest being flexible. If you need to work, the opportunities are limited, but there are some things that are still out there that are gettable in the labor market. But it's going to be a long haul, and I think we're going to see a slow comeback for that, especially in the service and hospitality sectors, where it's going to take us some time to figure out what's going to be normal operating procedures and how many people it's going to take to do that. So unfortunately, I think there's going to be more folks than there are opportunity. It's such a dramatic change from where we were just a couple of months ago at completely full employment numbers. So definitely some challenges set out before us.
So do you think that, I know you said it's going to be a long road, but do you think that after this is done and we're able to come back out into our communities, businesses are able to open, do you think that it's going to be a sharp uptick, or do you think it's going to be long and slow?
For us, I think it's going to be mixed. I think it's going to be slow for those that are in, again, like hospitality, restaurant, retail, service businesses like that, because the volume is just not going to be able to be processed. Though we're all clamoring to get back out into the community and society and live like we used to, I just don't think that the realities of that are going to come online as fast as we had hoped. We're going to stumble a little bit. Then I think there are some others in the manufacturing sectors and distribution and whatnot that will turn to pretty much almost normal right away. Those that have gotten to stay open through this crisis and these transitions will be a little better prepared to ramp up faster and respond to that. So I think they'll have a little faster uptick. I think the rest of us are going to lag behind a little bit longer than we thought. I think by next spring, hopefully, we'll have some established guidelines and maybe some technology that will have helped kind of stamp out this pandemic and put us back to full normal. But I think we're a good 6 months away from some real significant growth again.
Well, the good news is there are some job opportunities out there. And so I would encourage you, if you're looking for a job right now, head on over to Talent Framework, see what the opportunities that are available, and I'm sure that they'd be happy to help you. Thank you so much, Steve, for hanging out with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Live, work, play, NV. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Dana Hajakis of Hajakis Realty, and I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you about Northern Nevada and about Hajakis Realty, who have helped hundreds of people find, buy, and sell real estate in this wonderful place we call home. First off, I love real estate. I dedicate time each day to researching listings, seeing what's coming on the market, what's going off, and all this research helps me to identify trends happening in the marketplace. I'm also part of a family brokerage that has over half a century of experience here in the Reno-Sparks Tahoe area. We understand the real estate process intimately from that first call to the close of escrow. Because we form such deep relationships with our clients, we work with them for generations. We're in it with you for the long haul. Now let's talk about Northern Nevada. As the old saying goes, we love this place. And from the Arts and Culture Commission to entrepreneurial groups to government agencies, I have deep ties in this community, and this helps me keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening here. What's truly great about Northern Nevada is the quality of life we enjoy. I spend time outdoors with my family, snowboarding, paddling, biking, and dancing my way around this beautiful place. From Sand Harbor to the Black Rock Desert, from the Sparks Marina to the Truckee River, I'm spending time with my family and nature. My active lifestyle shows there's more to life than just business. It's a work-life balance, really more of a work-life integration. Traveling around every day, I've found pockets of communities that really serve different lifestyles. And being involved with so many different people affords me the ability to match these neighborhoods with their needs or to match their home with the perfect buyer. In future videos, I'll show you each of these neighborhoods, but for now, thank you for taking the time to get to know me. And if you're looking for a friendly and savvy real estate agent, please feel free to reach out. And if you're new to Nevada or a lifelong resident, welcome home. Welcome back to Live, Work, Play, NV. I know after a hard day's work, I always like to enjoy an adult beverage. And in this time, we haven't been able to get together physically, but I know we've been coming together as a community. Now, we can't go out to the bar right now, so we are gonna bring the bar to you. Up next, we have Lauren DiVincenzi of Rum Sugar Lime, and he's gonna help us make a quarantine cocktail. Hey, Lauren. Good, great to see you.
Great to see you as well. Everyone is kind of in the weird spot right now where part of their life was going to bars, and that has been completely taken away. So just this last weekend, as I think most people are aware, there's some regulations that have been lifted for bars in general. So we're able to do curbside cocktails. It's our first week doing it. It's really good feeling, firstly, because I get to reemploy some of my employees, which is great. They all lost their job last month, and it was a hard hit. But now we have some really fun stuff. We're doing bottled painkillers and bottled Saturns, legendary tiki cocktails. Very, very tasty stuff. The Saturn's a passion fruit bomb, and the painkiller is kind of a cousin to the pina colada. It's pineapple juice, orange juice, pineapple juice, cream of coconut, and lots of rum. So
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's very tasty. You should try it.
So I definitely have my rum sugar lime gift card, and I will definitely be coming to you soon for those curbside cocktails.
Awesome, thank you.
So can you make us a quick drink or give us a quick tutorial on something good we can make that's easy at home if we're unable to make it down?
Absolutely. Look, tried and true classic cocktails, the daiquiri. Super, super easy to make, but all you have to do is you grab, I like to do a blend of rums, but for the people that aren't able to acquire those things, all you have to do is grab a nice, clear, very, very citrusy rum. You can contact us if you have any questions about that, but one of my favorites is Florida Caña Four-Year. It's a nice, affordable rum. You do that, a little bit of lime juice, a little bit of simple syrup, and you shake it up, and it's the perfect balance.
I love it. I'm definitely going to be coming over to see you guys, and I'm so happy that our local government came together to help our local bars and enable curbside delivery. It's great. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
A few minutes west of the Reno-Sparks metro area, you'll find Verdi, Nevada. Straddling the state line and close to the Truckee River, this pocket community enjoys amazing outdoor adventures, coupled with countryside living. Fly fish the river, cycle Old Highway 40, or have a picnic at the park. Then stop by Verdi's quaint Main Street for dinner and drinks. The fastest growing community in northern Nevada is Spanish Springs in North Sparks. With a closer commute to the Reno Tahoe Tech Center, Sparks homes are typically more affordable with plenty of options, both in the home and the community in which it's situated. Spanish Springs has year-round parks like Golden Valley Regional Park. It's just a short drive to shopping at Legends and paddling Sparks Marina. All right, well, we now are moving on to living. There's so much going on in the home market today, and everybody's wondering what's happening with home prices. Are they going to go down? Are we in a recession? What does the future hold? So we're going to talk to George Hajakis of Hajakis Realty, who is the owner and broker, and find out what he's seeing in the local real estate market. George?
Hi, Dana. Can you hear me? Good. Awesome. Well, a quick elevator tour is that our numbers are going back to 2016, about 8,700 resale units. This is houses in the Reno-Sparks market. That's all we're talking about. We're not talking about any other type of real estate at this point. But it spiked in 2017 to 9,300, and then it's been floating around between 8,000, 8,500 units sold each year. This is everybody's home. Very special to each individual, but those are the large numbers. This year to date, we're roughly at just under 2,000 units, and the median price is right around $440,000, and the properties are selling for $435,000. So this is just a lot of figures, but the bottom line is we are in a flat market until we get through this process. It's been right as rain so far this year, but the last 30 days there's been plateauing, and it's still a seller's market. So I anticipate that we're going to have a little bit of a recessionary period for the second and third quarters, and it could last longer than that. But here is the bottom line. There's inventory out there. The interest rates are at all-time lows. And all these trillions of dollars that are being spent, you need to know one thing. The only way the government can repay it is to allow the inflation to run a little bit. And that's always good for real estate. So on the long term, can't tell you how much I like real estate, particularly your own home, as an investment in the future.
I think that's really great news. I know I've been watching the listings, and every day I'm seeing new listings come on, more inventory come on, which is great, but I'm also seeing buyers gobble up this inventory. So I do feel like there's still movement happening, which is good. So if you're looking to sell your home, we'd be happy to help. And also if you're looking to buy, we're happy to help. But there are some changes that have just happened recently in the mortgage industry, and I think we should address that. So with us today, we have Julie from Summit Funding, and she's going to talk a little bit about what she's been seeing in the mortgage industry and some changes you should be aware of.
Hi, Dana. Thanks for having me. And yeah, it's been a crazy month and a half, maybe even 2 months almost now. Oh my gosh, yeah, we're at the end of April. I think this has been the craziest 2 months of my career in mortgage. I've been working at Summit Funding since 2013, and I don't think that people that have been doing this for 30 years have seen anything like this. We saw rates get to an all-time low. We saw them jump up super high. And there was a day there where most lenders didn't even publish rates because they couldn't keep up with the bond market and everything that was going on. And most of us had never seen anything like that. There was a period where we couldn't lock rates. And then ever since then, they've got back to a really great point, and we started doing tons of refinances, and literally about 70% of homeowners could probably benefit from a refinance. And it's just crazy. But because of everything going on, it's hard for people to gauge exactly what's happening. And for us as well, because things change every day. We just heard of a big bank that's no longer doing cash out refinances at all. We've heard of a big bank going to a minimum 700 credit score with 20% down on a purchase. And it's like, what is that? Who can qualify for that, right? So it's insane. A lot of lenders have gone to like minimum 680 on government loan programs. We still go down to a 620, which is awesome and gives us a really good competitive advantage. But it's definitely, it's harder to qualify now. And there's been a lot of changes when it comes to people's employment and being furloughed, hours being cut. And, I had a bunch of realtors and past clients and things ask me and say, well, how is that going to affect people that want to buy houses? And they were thinking that it was actually going to be, they would have to come out with something that made that okay. And that's not the case at all. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they all came out and said, you know what, that's not going to fly. And they want the lenders to actually be even more strict, double check they're still employed the day before funding, even more strict than they were before. And if something's changed, it's back into underwriting to see if you qualify with your reduced hours and income. So it's hard.
So there was a lot of talk about rates going down to zero, and everybody rushed to call their lender to say, hey, can I refinance?
Even my own mother called me on that one.
Talk about what that means when the Fed cuts the rates and how it affects mortgages.
And they cut their rate to 0% to 0.25%. Everybody flocked to call their lender. We were all blowing up on the weekend, and everyone's like, I can get a 0% mortgage rate. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. So what that is that's the rate that banks get to borrow money directly from the Federal Reserve or to lend money to each other. It doesn't directly impact mortgage rates. It affects more short-term loans like car loans, credit cards, home equity lines of credit, things like that. We actually saw that was the worst week for rates following that immediate announcement. It was insane.
That is totally insane. Another thing that I've been hearing with people losing their jobs or being furloughed is forbearance. Now, do you think that forbearance is a good idea?
So forbearance is interesting. And, every loan servicer, whoever you make your payment to, is going to be different, and they're going to have different rules. But in my eyes, it's a tool that is able to help you if you need it. It's not meant to just enable you to skip a couple mortgage payments if you can afford to make them. And a lot of people jumped on that when they didn't really realize what the repercussions were. And it says that it's not going to be reported as a late payment. It's not going to affect your credit. But lo and behold, I'm on a team with 3 other different loan officers, and we talk about things all the time. One of my colleagues pulled somebody's credit. They put their loan into forbearance on a Monday, pulled it on Wednesday to look at a refinance instead. And it already said forbearance on there. And most lenders are not going to touch that right now because they don't know what to do with it. We don't know what the long-term impacts are going to be. Is that going to follow you for 12 months and you can't qualify for something anymore because of that? we don't know, and it hasn't quite been released exactly what that's going to do. And what people didn't realize as well is that, they may say, okay, you can, skip 3 months of mortgage payments, but on that fourth month, those 3 payments are due plus the one that is now due on the fourth month. And if you've lost your job, how are you all of a sudden going to afford 4 mortgage payments at one time?
Yeah, absolutely. That definitely makes it difficult. So it's definitely a last option, I think, for people if they're trying to
it's
pay
meant
that
to help
mortgage.
you if you absolutely need it and there's no other option, but I would call that a last resort.
Now, interest rates still are at an all-time historic low. So is it a good time to refinance?
Oh my gosh, yes. It is such a good time to refinance. They are at an all-time low. It's crazy. There's people, getting in when you're looking at like 10-year and 15-year terms. Of course, it depends on so many things, but we're seeing people locking under 3% on those. It's insane. People on 30 years are in the 3% as long as you have good credit. Of course, pending all other certain things and whatnot, but they're great rates. They enabling people to lower their mortgage payment by so much, couple $100 a month. If you bought anytime in the last maybe 2015, 16, 17, and especially if you bought with an FHA loan, it's time to refinance, get rid of that mortgage insurance and get a lower rate for sure.
Great. I love that there are opportunities for people to save some money by doing a refinance. So if that's something you're looking for, reach out to Julie at Summit Funding. She'd be happy to help you. And thanks so much for joining us today. So one of the favorite parts of being a realtor for me is looking at homes. So let's check in with Amanda Hajakis. She has a great, cute listing over on Skyline Boulevard. Let's take a look. Hi, I'm Amanda from Hajakis Realty, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be showing you this charming home located at 1301 Skyline Boulevard. It's a 1,780 square foot home, 4-bed, 2-bath. It has a scenic setting. You can hear the birds chirping. All the conveniences of Reno with the Tahoe ambiance. Let's go take a look. Some of the unique and upgraded features to this home include custom-made front door, slate tile front entry, antique tin tiles, gourmet kitchen upgraded with professional stainless steel appliances, granite countertop, cherry wood cabinets, and hardwood flooring throughout the home. The bathroom offers custom mirrors, an electric skylight, and travertine. In the living room, you're greeted with fresh interior paint and a gas log fireplace. The master bedroom offers a ceiling fan, easy access to your scenic backyard, and leads to the master bath, which also has travertine tiles and a skylight. You are going to fall in love with the backyard. I know I did. The Tahoe-esque backyard offers a cozy jacuzzi, a storage shed, a natural river rock fountain, wide concrete walkways, an area for an RV. It has an abundance of trees, including fruit trees such as pear and cherry trees, and the sound system that can also be heard outdoors and in the kitchen. Thank you so much for joining me on this tour. Welcome home. Thanks so much, Amanda. That was such a fun home tour. I really love that home because you can walk out the front door or the back door and feel like you're on a Tahoe vacation. So if you're interested in checking it out, please reach out to us, info@hajakis.com. We'd be happy to show it to you. Now, with buying a home, once you get your funding, once you are in a contract, then you move on to the next part of the process, which is title and escrow. We hear those terms a lot, but do we really know what they mean? Lauren from First Centennial Title is here to talk to us about title and escrow and what we can expect during the process.
Hi, Lauren. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
So I just kind of wanted to give an idea of what's going on during this pandemic as far as title and escrow goes. We've been very fortunate at First Centennial Title. We are one of the largest title companies in Northern Nevada. So we have offices in Sparks all the way to Carson City, South Lake, and North Lake. So we're kind of all over, which helps us gauge what's going on. And just to give you an idea, we definitely have had a slowdown in residential escrows, which I know George kind of mentioned. But as Julie mentioned, we've had a huge influx of refinances. We have just gone crazy with those. The other good news is that we didn't see a huge jump in cancellations once the pandemic started. We thought that things might slow down tremendously. People might back out of their transactions. What we have seen is a lot of extensions. So there's a lot of people with hopes that things will go back to normal in the near future and they'll still be able to close on their transactions, which is great news. There have been some interesting changes at our office. We've had a lot of options for people as far as title and escrow goes, but now we're limiting the number of people, obviously, that we want in our office. So we're doing things like having drive-by signings. We're having a lot of people sign remotely. We've always had a lot of our sellers, when closing, sign completely online. Now we're starting to see a lot of mortgage companies allow that. So that's kind of interesting. And just a lot of different things to kind of morph and adapt with what's going on to make sure that the public can still close on their new home or still sell on their new home.
That's great. I love that things are still happening, things are still moving, people are still buying homes, and it's great to know that everything is still in motion. Tell me a little bit about what the process is like and how to keep it. Let me do that again. Sorry. Talk to me about how we can, or some tips. One more time. Lauren, if you could give us some tips on how to go through a title and escrow process smoothly.
Yeah, and I think it's always been the same, even though we're in a pandemic. It's mostly about staying informed, communicating with everybody involved. So whether that's your realtor, your mortgage lender, insurance, just keep in the know and communicate. The other thing I would say is to always make sure that you're providing any information that any of the parties need as soon as possible and as accurate as possible. Prepare for any unseen delays. Things are crazy right now, and sometimes things can pop up that we don't know about. So just be versatile, just be prepared. And lastly, the most important part of a real estate transaction is the closing. And it's important to stay flexible at the end of a transaction so you're prepared at any time to go in and get your documents signed so you can close on time. So those are just some helpful tips to make the transaction go just a little bit smoother.
Thank you so much for those tips. We appreciate it.
Thank you so very much.
And thank you so much for joining us today on Live, Work, Play, NV. We're excited about our next week's episode, so make sure you stay tuned. At Hijacus Realty, we've helped generations of Northern Nevadans invest in real estate. Find out how we can help you at hijacus.com or call us at 775-954-0040.